Hi everybody. So good to see you. Yes, thank you. Happy full moon. It's been intense out there as always these days, but it's a good, interesting time, and I'm calling this the generational full moon, meaning the moon of ancestry, the moon of lineage, and the moon of our past, our past so far life, and working with the energies of this powerful Cancer, Solar, Capricorn, full moon to do a healing for things that are from our past that we know and that we don't know. Not an interesting thing to think of. I don't know if you can hear the crows. They're just going. It's great. And I've been loving doing this outside in the summer here. This is just so beautiful. So welcome to the full moon of Cancer, Solar, Capricorn, full moon. And Capricorn is a serious sign, right? It's the serious planet. It's sober, right? It's about time. And where, are you here yet? Are you there yet? You have the opportunity with the Capricorn full moon to build structures and rebuild structures and make structures stronger. So much of the time we've got all this history that we're sort of dragging behind us, that we're just carrying into every new moment, right, of our life. And so we keep recreating the old moments in the now moment. So think of that. We're recreating the old moments in the new moment, not on purpose, of course, but by accident in a way, because we just don't even know we're doing it because it's unconscious. It is just our energy. And just like I say, if you have a handshake with someone, you know everything about them in that 1 second experience on an exchange, let alone just looking at somebody. There's so much data exchange in a brief and visual encounter. And so it's about bringing the past into harmony with the present, so that as you make your new future, because your point of power is in the now, your point of creation is in the now, right? What will come next is based on what we're making right now, right? So we get this chance to sort of be conscious about that. Like, what do you want to make? What do you want to create in your life? And are we unconsciously creating into this life, into this now, the past or the present? In meditation, it's just all about being present. That's kind of it. And there's a lot of other things that come with it that books are written about. But if you think about it and you distill it down, right, to the diamond, it's just presence. Present, present, I am present, present. And you just stand in that presence, and in that Capricornian presence, which would be the sober presence, the fatherly presence. You think of Cancer, which we're in the month of, so it's, birthdays for all my Cancer friends, right? So that is the sign of the mother, right? And Capricorn is the sign of the father. And they go together, and they're both very needed, but they're very different energies. And so we're trying to balance this emotions and feelings that are coming up during the solar Cancer month, and balancing them with that gravity and sage and wisdom and next steps. And did you do what you said? That powerful Saturnian energy. So as I'm talking, you might be thinking about something in your life that you've been working on, or that you've been thinking about, that you can use these energies for. And because I'm calling it, you know, this generational moon, it might go back and back and back and back farther than you even consciously know. Ancestrally, right? Lineage, lineage. Every teacher you work with, you're connected to that lineage. And me, as myself as a teacher, when I think of my teachers that have preceded me, they're all of these, you know, graces in my life that have come, and ding, you know, they kind of do this. They waken you. And your first teachers are your mother and your father, right? They're, for better or for worse, but they're the teachers of not like that or just like that or different than that. And you start to work with these energies of the teachers that come into our lives that by grace we get to work with them. We get to have that experience of real connection. And so that's a spiritual lineage, right? And if you listen to the gurus, they're always talking about their teacher and their teacher's teacher and their teacher's teacher, just like we talk about our mother and my mother's mother and my mother's mother's mother, right? There's this lineage, and one is energetic and one is physical. And they both have power and effect and influence in how the world unfolds to us. And so we're talking about the generational healing. And another way I could call that is past healing. So you could just look at this lifetimes that you're in and think of that as what you're healing, so that you start to bring this past into the present where it can be healed. So often we're tucking it under the rug, you know, like, oh, I don't want to think about that. And it doesn't ever get the light upon it of our consciousness because there's so much shame there, or unworthiness there, or things that are counteractive to healing. But there's nothing that you can't place on the altar, right? There's nothing that's unredeemable, nothing. And so when you bring it all forward, thing by thing, in that brave but sort of innocent way, you can heal your past. And now your slate is clean, so that when you are in your present, you actually are in your present, rather than sort of 1 foot over there and 1 foot here. So you're not having to drag with you these sometimes limiting ways of being, limiting thinkings, you know, judgments, all that stuff that may not even be yours. You might have just picked it up along the way. Like, what's yours? You know, and I ask this all the time, people, when I'm working with them, is like, who are you? It's such an interesting and wonderful question, like, that I personally ask myself, you know, kind of every day. Who am I now? Who am I now? That we get to change, we get to grow. But when the past gets put away, locked up, compartmentalized, you can't really do anything with it. But guess what? It's doing something, right? It's percolating through the life in the present in an unconscious way. And so that's why, you know, therapies and journaling and all the inner works that there are out there, you know, and physical works like yoga and Tai Chi and Qigong and all these things that we use to get present, right? Sometimes when I was teaching yoga, you know, especially with newer people to the class, very often there would be weeping, just weeping, you know, because they hadn't felt their body, you know, in 20 years or something, or forever, you know, and so there would be this sort of release, right, that comes, and it happens all along the way, actually, in a yoga practice, for instance. But it can be like that with anything that we do, that when you do it in presence, which yoga commands or demands, it asks that we be present for it. Anything that we do in presence has that opportunity in it to let things come up and out, up and out. And the minute that we cry, there's such an involuntary response most often to just go, just shut it down, lock it up even better, you know, than it was. When you cry, when you feel something, a memory or a relationship or a regret, right? What you feel, you can heal, you know? And so you have to let it come up so that you can heal it. But so often we're pushing it back down. And so often and I guess I'm saying this because we're in Cancer Sun right now, solar, and it is a very emotional time out there, and there may be emotions, and you don't really necessarily want to get tougher and tougher, because you actually get weaker and weaker. That shutting down, that lockup will stop you from growing. And the energy that we lock up, which is literally that whole subject, that whole subject that it's about, like if it's family, right? Something with family, it's family. It's not just that person in the family, it's families, right? And it ripples out in all kinds of interesting and not helpful ways when these subjects are pushed back down. And when people have breakthroughs, right, when they have openings, which always tears accompany, then laughing sometimes, but for sure tears at first, that not only do you heal whatever the suffering is that we're carrying, but you get that energy back. It's like packed up, it's been packed away, and all of a sudden you've got more life force because you're letting your energy come back. So the subject of family now is no longer leaching energy every time you think of it because there's guilt there or shame there or anger there. Right now it's just free. It's free energy. So you can have a family if you want one. Right? You can make a family because there's not the resistance any longer, or you can heal a relationship that you're in, or get into a relationship that is healing, just as an example. So generational healing, healing the past, and working with this energy of the structure of the bones, right? Capricorn full moon, right, rules the bones of something, the structure, the thing that holds the building up, right? Those important pins that hold and keep something steady. And so what are those things in your life? They may be your routines. They may be certain people that are important to you, that are sages, right? And so how can you develop that more in your life? How can you work with that right now in your life? I'm going to show the chart just because a lot of people here know astrology, so let me share this. So here's the chart just so you can get a sense of what is going on there. So here's the full moon. Moon is at 11 Capricorn, 12 actually, and the Sabian symbol is a student of nature lecturing, a student of nature lecturing. And my little thoughts on that were just impressions of fresh air, new eyes, breathing new life into the matter, right? And a whole bunch of aspects are coming up down here, some of you that know aspects, but it's a dynamic chart, of course, but it's got this wonderful little blessing in it. This is an opposition. This is a trine. This is an opposition is difficult energy. A trine is blessed energy, easier energy, something you can use that will help you. Sextiles are things that you pick up along the way. And what we have here is a mini trine here between Saturn, Sun and Mercury and Jupiter, and then we have a trine, Moon trine Jupiter. That's just total blessing. So be open to having a blessing tonight in some way where when you go into your meditation, that something maybe awakens there. Jupiter is sextiling the Sun and Mercury. This is really beautiful. There's also this very difficult aspect of Uranus squaring Venus and Mars. So that's relationship stuff. It's in Leo. It's very passionate. It can be arguing and misunderstandings, disagreements, all that kind of stuff. But what to me is bigger is this Moon trine Jupiter. So we can work with that when we're in our meditation, and remember that we just had the summer solstice just a little while ago, on the 21st, right? So we're still in that high light, most light time. And so there's maximum light coming onto the planet, maximum in the northern hemisphere, because it's winter in the southern hemisphere. But up here we're having maximum light. And so let yourself receive that light and make it so that it can work for you. The other thing there's two more things I want to say before we go into the meditation. One is one of the things that I feel that have to do with this past healing, right? Generational healing, past, but this now life, past also, is to become aware, because this is the same thing, of the stories we tell about ourselves, or that we believe are ourself. So, when you meet somebody new, or you go to a party, that's such a good example, right? You go and you're meeting a lot of people. What do you do? And I'm one of these people that never answers. I'm like, what do you do? It's a complicated answer, and it's not what's being really asked. But we say a story often. Well, I used to do this, and now I do that, and da-da-da-da-da. And it locks us up, because we're so much more than the story we're telling, even if it's our job, that this job that I do could define me, I suppose. Doesn't really. It's part of me, right? It's part of you. You're a meditator. You're a conscious soul. You're a creator. You're so much more than the mother or father or worker or or any limiting thing. And so when you get to know someone, I think about this all the time when people ask me about me. What do I actually say to the question, how are you? Which is a very dynamic question, right, to me. It's a very alive. I have a long answer to that I probably don't share unless someone can meet me there, right? Then I will. But otherwise, I go fine, I'm fine, And when there's that thing that happens when you start exchanging stories, somehow it can be almost a competition of who's got the worst background or something, or, who's got the more horrifying this or that, and to not necessarily, it's just don't be unconscious in the conversation. Like, you can be conscious in that conversation and move it anywhere. You could draw pictures on the paper on the table at a restaurant. It's like that you can change things by kind of inserting yourself in a conscious way, or pulling back in a conscious way, which is a different choice, right? And they both have an effect, and the effect is consciousness. So when we're telling a story that defines us somehow, I'm a yoga teacher, I'm a meditation teacher. Even though I'm not, I think that's wonderful. I'm Diana, and I am meditating. And that leads me to the next thought. So when we go into the meditation, I've been working in my classes with this concept of using that phrase in a very conscious way. And that is, when we go into the meditation, if you feel that your mind is wandering, use this phrase, I am meditating. On purpose, use that phrase. And it brings it to focus. I am meditating. I am. We do a lot of meditations with I am. But there's something about keeping the mind still on purpose with that phrase, because you're adding this distinction to it that's beyond I am. It is I am this, right? I am on this Zoom call. I am doing the dishes. I am working in the garden. I am having a conversation. I am listening. I am speaking. Right? And suddenly, can you feel the energy? It slows me down just to say it. Right? It's suddenly, now, I am speaking. And as I'm speaking, my speaking becomes more and more present. So play with that during this meditation, and I'll use that to start us off as we go into the meditation, to develop, right? Develop this Capricorn platform, strong, stable. You're not going to get blown over. That's the Saturn return, right? We become 28 to 30. You become a woman. You become a man. You become an adult, right? And then you get another one between 56 and 60, the second Saturn return. That's Capricorn sign, right? It is the reality. What is the reality? So we'll start from there. So when you're ready to, get yourself comfortable in some way, sitting upright if you can. And notice how you're feeling. Notice your breath. And just gradually coming into the moment. More and more here. And just breath by breath now. Breath by breath. Breath by breath. Feel yourself come present. I am meditating. I am meditating. And just use your breath to organize your body, to relax the physical body, the emotional body, the mental body, into this time and space, because we are practicing now, consciously being present. I am meditating. And you feel yourself come into focus and into the moment. And when you open your eyes, if you were to, right, it would be different than when your eyes were open a moment ago. What you see, how you see it. You can see the essence of things. You can see the essence of color. You can feel it, the color vibrating, your skin and your eye. You can feel the colors of you vibrating with the colors around you. You can feel the vibration of your physical body with your energetic bodies. And there's many relationships between the bodies of the self and the soul. And you can feel the energy of your own soul. I am meditating. And gently become aware of the soul now. And feel that crown chakra open. Receiving the energies of this time. It's a hard thing to say to yourself, but it is true. And that is everything is perfect. And that's a hard thing to hear when there's pain, loss. And all of it is part of the expression of the life, of the hero's journey of the life. And the whole thing is, in potential, a living meditation. I am meditating. And as you go deeper and you feel your heart center open, today in this particular meditation, feel the lineage. What's your lineage? Different than what's your ancestry. Feel and sense your lineage. You may know, and something might be very evident to you. You might see a teacher in your mind's eye. You might have many. It might be a way of thinking, a philosophy like the Tao. What is your lineage? And just sense it, and then feel the power that's like behind you, you know? And it stands into, you can lean back into your lineage, the strength and the power of your own lineage. Sense your lineage. And then now, still in the heart center, sense your ancestry, where you come from, your people, your tribe. The land, the smells of the land, the way the land lays, the place that your mother and your father, where they came from, that's all part of you. And their mothers and their fathers and their mothers and their fathers. And just sense that strength behind you. In front of the lineage is the ancestry. It's more physical, right? We were born from them. And then, still in the heart center, sense your life past. And I could say your past lives, but I'll just keep it simple to say your past life past, your past of this life. And feel it behind you as well. The things that made us, formed us, grew us, experienced us into the people we are today, that have taken us to this very moment, this pinnacle moment of awareness and presence, the past. And I want you to think of all these three realms in a way as holy. Your holy lineage, your holy ancestry, your holy past. So it's in great regard and respect, whether it be difficult or beautiful to you, or a mix of all of that. Just sort of feel the similarity, even though they're different subjects in a way. Feel the connection between them. Because we're informed by our past, right? But we can be informed by this moment. This moment we can be informed. Newly informed in the present that doesn't contain the past in its present. So I can be new to something. I can be new to an idea. I can be new to a friend or a colleague, to my partner. I can be new. I can look with new eyes. So I'm past informed, but not held captive to the past. Now, from the heart center, sensing the past, your ancestry, your lineage. And in your mind's eye now, turn to face it. So turn to face your past, and in your imagery, sense yourself in prayer position, palms. Namaste. I see you, my past. Thank you, my past. You bow to your past. And some of you will notice that your past responds. You bow to your past. And then the past just whoosh, dissolves into all that is you. And you see the next realm of ancestors. In form, not in form. Ancestors. My ancestors. And you may get insights into your ancestors that may surprise you, as they too, as you bow, respond. They respond. Kind of collective sigh of relief, recognition. Thank you, ancestors. And they begin to dissolve into the all that is you. And now, what's left is the realm, lineage, the unspeakable, ineffable energies, spiritual lineage. This will include even spiritual family that you've made. We are that. Lineage. And at this point, move into the silence with capital L, lineage. Becoming still to the teachers, right? Saturn, the teachers, the gurus that have come into your life, the wise ones, the wise ones. That you have known in the physical and that you haven't known in the physical. It's a lineage. Sacred lineage. And into this silence now step and allow yourself to be infused by light and by remembering these ones, these many, or this one. It can come in all different forms. As you say in your heart, I am meditating. Aware of your lineage. And in your meditation, even though your physical eyes are closed, in your mind's eye, open your eyes. And as you do, an important teacher is there. Physical teacher you've had in your life, non-physical teacher you've never met, from Jesus to Buddha Kuan Yin, and Paramahansa Yogananda, Krishnamurti. But it also could be your mother that's there to meet you. But it's a being that loves you. Completely. And is representative of lineage. Today, this being represents your lineage. And you bow. You thank your lineage and this one that came forward. And you know all of that is there always. And growing along the way. Just feeling gratitude now. Locating yourself in the third eye, in the cave center. Feeling your own self now. Identified self. I am meditating. I am aware. I am soul incarnate. Om. 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 And I release myself from the bonds of the past, but am gifted with the grace of my past. That I'm free, that you are free, sovereign, self-realizing, I am soul incarnate. I am aware. And I am meditating. With all the power of my past and all the blessings of my ancestry and all the grace of my lineage. Good. Gradually feeling yourself in this time and space. Coming present. Feeling your legs, your body, your breath. And let your breath get deeper and fuller. until it starts to feel natural to transition out of this meditation when you're ready to. Good. Boy, I didn't expect that. That was deep. I post these on SoundCloud afterward and on YouTube. YouTube will be the visual of it, so you can get the recording. SoundCloud is just the audio, and you can watch all kinds of meditations on there that I've done, or listen to them on SoundCloud. And I hope you do, because it's powerful, and this one would be a good one to do again, especially if it was moving for you, and especially if it can be helpful to touch these points again. You'll know, you'll sense it. So thank you for being part of this Capricorn full moon, solar sun, Cancer. And the next full moon will be August 1st, which is a Tuesday. And I'll be doing also meditation mounts full moon on the day before that, which is the 31st of July. And I'll be doing a meditation class on July 17th, which is the new moon. And that will be on a Monday. So I hope you join us and connect and let me know how you did. This was a big one, so I'm curious what you experienced. And if it helps to write it down, share it with me if you like. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a wonderful month. I am meditating. Use it. Very strong. Pulls you back just like that. I'll see you next time.